It is a happy day. It is a happy day. It feels like my birthday, like Christmas when we play. And when I'm sad or scared, I know that God does care. 'Cause sun shines every day. It is a happy day today. Hi, guys. I'm in my new room. It's huge. Look how much space I have. I got a new big bed and a new big closet for my war room and a nice big sink for my dishes. I'm so excited. So, yeah, um, I got to move into apartment number one. I prayed for a front window unit and I got it. So, I'm super excited. So, last night was my first night here, and there was a problem with some bugs and I wasn't expecting them. So I was up till 3:30 in the morning and praying and worried and sad and scared, and it sucked. And I just was like, okay, God, there's always giants in your promised land. And I've been reading Psalm 91 to you guys for over a month, and I heard a new perspective on it today from some wise old saints, seasoned eagles, if you will. And we call people eagles that can see in the spirit realm, and they usually can see far ahead in the future and discern things. Um, God does protect us, but He doesn't keep us from going through painful things. So just because we become a believer and we start talking to God every day doesn't mean we're not going to have hard times just like everybody else on the earth. It just means we're going to have peace. Look how much I'm smiling right now. I was mad last night and tormented with fear for a minute, and then I gave it to God, and then I watched TV and I'd ask God for help. And I woke up and dealt with it the way God told me to deal with it, and I talked to the people that run it, and they helped me out and put down some bait and some powder and some gel. So they put down 3 things. That's a lot, and they were really helpful. And so God's showing me that, you know, not everything's going to work out the way you think, Trace, and not everyone's going to be the way you want them to be, but just work with them and they'll work with you. So I'm learning how to be nicer and not so edgy. And I had a rough background. So when you're trying to get out of the ghetto and go into your promised land, you can't act ghetto, because when people promote you and put you in a new place, you can't get all ghetto on them when you wake up and there's bugs in your room. You have to be nice and say, hey, there were some bugs. Can you help me? And that takes the ghetto out of it. You're not putting any emotion in it. You're just telling the facts and asking for help. That's what God told me to do. Just say the facts and ask for help. So I did, and it worked out great, and I really appreciate their help. And they explained to me what was going on, that it wasn't from a neighbor. It's not like they're infested next door like I thought last night. Like, oh, Lord. I was happy in my little tiny room, but it was so tiny I couldn't even stretch without there's my buddy Priscilla texting me back. She loves my text. I couldn't even stretch without hitting a wall. I mean, it was that tight. It was basically a 10 by 20 cubicle. And now I'm living in how many feet is that? That is 20 and 15. So 35 feet by 30 feet. So, I mean, twice the size, basically 30 by 40 instead of 10 by 20. And I got a huge window. I get to see out in front, and I get to see the Padre at night. So let me tell you about Psalm 91. What I've been teaching you is God will comfort you through hard things. Some of you are in a rough childhood, and I was in a rough childhood, man, and I shut down. I even pushed my higher God away, Jesus away. He came and visited me and sat on my bed at night, and I was just like, I turned over and I was like, dude, I can't be open to one more person. I'm sorry, that's not going to work. And I was just so devastated from the tough things that were happening to me, the abuse, that I was just like, this is freaky deaky. And the people around me in my neighborhood were abusing me, and it was sad. So, yeah, I definitely shut down. Definitely. And so I'm opening back up now. And it's like, you know what? It's okay. There's some bugs. So what? We're going to fight them. And I'm not going to move back into a tiny cubicle. But I do want to tell you that God will allow tough things to happen to you. You know, Joseph is a story in the Bible. His sons were going to kill him, and then the son that his brothers were going to kill him, and the brother that was closest to him said, "No, let's just put him into slavery. Let's not kill him. You know, we don't want blood on our hands. That's a little extreme." So they sold him into slavery, which was a thing back then. And you were owned by a rich person to work for them. And you lived in their house and ate their food. And you didn't get to watch any TV that you wanted to watch. They didn't even have TV back then. But you didn't even get to, read the etched stone stories and do what you wanted to do most of the time. That's pretty harsh. But people, it was in their culture. So people were used to it. So he was kind of a spoiled brat, and being in prison and hanging out with pests probably and trusting God through the whole thing made him a nicer person. I gotta call my friends, so I'll be back.